Sometimes Biden does things right, or at least somebody around him does. In this case, the Biden White House fired Cair from being on their anti-Semitism committee. No wonder. They're the leading anti-Semites in America. I have some good news. It's a great segue. The Biden White House has just announced, this is according to the New York Post this morning, that the White House will no longer work with the Council on American Islamic Relations on crafting a national anti-Semitism strategy.
That's good.
Well,
Is it?
let's dig a little deeper.
Okay.
Cair was part of the White House's campaign to combat anti-Semitism. They're the leading anti-Semitic organization in America. It would be as if, and I mean this literally, Joe Biden's people called up the American Nazi Party and said, listen, we're forming a new commission. Y'all don't have much to do. We'd like you to be on an anti-Semitism committee to fight anti-Semitism. But when you come to the White House, no Hitler salutes. It's embarrassing. But other than that, you can be on our committee. They appointed Cair to this committee. Cair stands for the Islamization of the world. No more Christians, no more Jews, no more Baha'i, no more Druze, no more Buddhists, Taoists, Hindus. You get the idea.
Even atheists.
Well, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. So 85% of the world's got to go under their doctrine. What idiot put them on the committee to begin with, only to remove them this morning? And here's what Joe Biden said, and I know you hate it when I do this, but you got to call out good when it's done, even if it's for weird reasons. Joe Biden said that what happened on October 7th in Israel was abhorrent. It represented unadulterated evil, and everyone has a responsibility to call out anti-Semitism and violence wherever it rears its ugly head. I don't know who wrote it. I couldn't have written it better. But who in their completely retarded mind, I know you're not supposed to use that word, decided that Cair ought to be on the anti-Semitism committee?
And someone, I mean,
I don't have words for that.
I don't either. I really don't. But other than them lying, saying that you were going to create this organization, and you look, and I know you said, Biden's doing something good, but I think the only reason why Biden did it, and I'm going to say that here in just a second, the reason why I think Biden did that, someone putting Cair on this organization, they're just being inclusive, Barry.
Well, why did they put the Nazis on the committee then?
Because they're being inclusive, Barry. See, they'll be inclusive with, look, we'll bring you on here, but just don't do anything because we don't want to bring any attention. Now, the reason why I believe they did it is because it just came out, and I sent you a picture, a screenshot where they were just talking just the other day, how Joe Biden, basically behind closed doors, talking to his donors that hate Israel as well, saying, look, we're not going to really continue to support Israel. So because all that information came out, okay, well, we got to make it look like we're doing this. We got to make it look like, so I'm sorry, but you're going to have to fall on the sword on this one. And well, we need somebody.
You may be right. I don't know. You might be right. I've got a question for you. I don't think you're going to be able to answer this about what Biden's going to do. And if you do answer it, I probably won't like the answer. Remember, I showed a picture earlier of Nihad Awad, the founder of Cair, the spokesman for Cair, and the leading I hate Jews in America in his role running Cair. This is what he said a couple weeks ago. He said, quote, the language that President Biden and his party understand is the language of votes in the 2023 elections. And our message is clear. No ceasefire, meaning in Israel and Gaza, no votes. No votes in Michigan, no votes in Arizona, no votes in Georgia, no votes in Nevada, no votes in Wisconsin, no votes in Pennsylvania, no votes for you anywhere if you don't call for a ceasefire now. They are threatening the President of the United States to walk out of the Democrat Party with all of their Muslim votes. If that's true, they just handed the election to the other side. where that guy who used to be president of the United States, as of this morning, is up 32 points in all the Republican Party polls. And he's up between 4 and 6 points on Joe Biden. You take the Muslims out, 6 points becomes 8 points. Do they really want to do that and get Trump back? Or is it just a bluff?
It's a bluff. I think this is them trying to put political pressure on Joe Biden for him to turn on Israel, go full Nazi on Israel. That's all that it's a tactic. I mean, most people read through it. I mean, you already knew this when you saw it. Like this, we know what you're doing.
Well, they're not going to support Trump because he's going to go in there and step on their friend.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to support Trump. So this is all a political move to try to pressure Joe Biden to give them what they want. Give us what we want or else. I mean, really? I mean, so
it could be because it's such an empty threat. Look, in 20 seconds, you're seeing right through it. I'm seeing right through it. The choice, who are they going to vote for? It's going to be Trump, it's going to be Biden probably, or the crazy left-wing communist from Harvard, right? Who maybe is going to get a point or two. You know what I'm talking about. He hates Israel too. So they've got choices of Trump, who's going to destroy all of their friends in the Middle East, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, actually, there is Robert Kennedy out there, but he likes Israel too. And his father was assassinated by a Palestinian extremist. So he doesn't have any love for those people either. I don't get it.
It's again, like you just said, we're reading right through it. I mean, when I saw this, I'm like, come on, really, y'all? We're not going to vote for Joe. Genocide Joe. This is what they're calling him. Genocide Joe.
They will vote for him because they don't like the other choice.
Yeah, they're going to end up voting for him because they know how they see that Joe Biden is still demonic, in my personal opinion, and Joe Biden will do the wrong thing at the end of the day. So they're going to go for him. They're just wanting him to publicly say it. So then that way, Israel no longer gets support from America. And if Israel gets no support from America, it'd be easier for these other nations to go in and try to destroy Israel. But Barry, just to be clear, Israel's not going anywhere. Israel is not going to go anywhere. Israel is going to remain sovereign. Israel is going to remain strong. And Israel will always be an ally of the United States of America, regardless on how much hatred is coming from these people, regardless on how much they're trying to convince us that Israel is doing genocide, when it's not Israel. Israel's defending themselves. It's always been Hamas. It's always been the people shooting rockets into Israel that's been doing all of the genocide, trying to do genocide. And now Israel's defending themselves and they don't like it. Israel will not go anywhere. And the ceasefire, I saw an article just the other day talking about the ceasefire, where it was 155 nations voted for Israel to do a ceasefire, and Israel go, I don't see where you as Hamas. So no.
And you know what I might add? You know what really makes me angry? I mean, this really, really makes me angry. All those nations voted for a resolution for Israel to lay down their weapons, and not one line of condemnation for the massacre on October 7th. Not even a mention of it. Not a condemnation, not a mention, like it never happened. Yeah. As if Israel was attacking Hamas in a vacuum because they were bored and had too many bullets piled up in a warehouse.
Yeah, nothing else better to do. Like, you know what? Yeah, I think it's time. What, y'all ready to go to war? Yeah, we don't have a reason, but we'll just make up one.
Right.
And they're not calling Hamas to do a ceasefire. Hamas, they're wanting Israel to do a ceasefire, and you mentioned it before, so that Hamas can build up their arms. And I've seen some idiots on Twitter X saying Hamas not going to build up any arms. They're not doing that. They're not doing that. It's a bunch of idiots. But that's exactly what they want to do, so they can shoot more rockets into Israel. They do a ceasefire now. A month from now, there'll be rockets in the air again. And then it'll be like, oh, my goodness, Israel's being attacked again, everybody. But look at the Iron Dome. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
I know. I get it.